This was an unexpected surprise. Thank you guys so much.
Go for a full hour.
It's so awesome to meet y'all.
Yeah, keep doing what you do, guys.
Yeah.
We keep watching.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
So
Thank you. You guys gave me nipple chills, man. That was amazing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, we watch your YouTube videos every time.
Oh shit!
Man.
You guys are being real. I thought you were mocking us.
No, we watch it. No, big fans.
Like,
really? This is insane. This is insane.
We have questions for you.
Oh man, that is.
Well, you've got 6 minutes with us, buddy.
Oh, okay, gotta get fast.
It's like that threw me for a major loop.
Oh, goodness.
We're blushing. You're sons of bitches. Thanks.
This is good.
Has this begun?
Yes.
We're not taking your time.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's been a whirlwind of a day, so you've put us
thank
at
you.
much ease.
That
right
was so
now.
surprising. Holy shit. All right. Well, I mean, this is great because I wanted to mention that you guys directed Bad Boys for Life. And we said this when we first talked about it, that is our favorite Bad Boys movie.
Easily, yeah.
So
thank you. Appreciate it.
You did the, we will not ask you about the Will Smith slap, even though that will get us clicks. We will not do it.
Wisdom.
Yeah,
Did you mocap the slap for any of the action in Miss Marvel?
We wanted to ask though, like with the background you guys have with filmmaking, what Marvel character would you like to see receive the R-rated treatment, and what would you do? Like as we discussed this family-friendly Miss Marvel show, like what would be the R-rated Marvel movie you would want to make?
Oof. I mean, obviously, Deadpool and Blade have already been made in R-rated version. But yeah, I mean, I was so scared of the Hulk when I was a kid. When I watched like the original TV show. And I think that R-rated Hulk. Woo,
Yes.
Scary and next level, I say.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
I've always wanted to see a R-rated Hulk versus Wolverine movie. That's what
Definitely.
Yeah. Bloody.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, then, kind of speaking about the kind of differences in tones you guys are also doing, you got Batgirl going while you also have Miss Marvel going, what were the sort of key differences in inhabiting two worlds with very different tones, and one that does appeal more broadly versus one that has more of a dark aesthetic?
Well, yeah, it was great to have that spectrum, and a great honor to be able to work in both worlds, where Miss Marvel is really that applies to a younger audience, you would say. It's vibrant, it's hopeful, it's colorful. You have that animation. Well, Batgirl is in a darker world. It's DC, it's Gotham City, it's Batman, and it's more inspired by like the Batgirl we grew up with in the animated series. So you have both spectrum. You have a lot of similarities, of course, but one is more adult, darker, and the other is colorful and teenager.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's a really solid answer right there. You guys seem to have like a knack for mixing like a bunch of stylish action with cultural stories. So what was most important for you guys to communicate with from your own cultural perspective, would you say? And what was the biggest adjustment?
When we were editing Bad Boys for Life, we were thinking, what is the next step? And we were thinking, it has to be, Marvel is the biggest in the biz.
Yeah.
So
Speaking into existence, man.
yeah, and then we were like joking, it has to be a Muslim character because we never saw that. And then not knowing that it existed. And then we discovered Miss Marvel and just fell in love with Kamala Khan, her world, her family. And then we had that real personal connection because, we're Moroccan Belgians and we're between the Moroccan culture and the Belgian culture. Similarly, like Kamala Khan is between the American culture and the Pakistani Muslim culture. We are Muslims ourselves. So we had this deep connection with this story. And she's also a teenager trying to find a world, the identity crisis that we had when we were young. We were also trying to be cool but clumsy and, like totally in our own world and fantasies. I was also doodling all day. So all of that, was like, this is like a very special story that needs to be told to the world, and super happy we could make this.
I love that you said that because, this is a story about like a teenage girl, like hear like men talking about it. Cause that was something like, I'm Filipino, first generation. So in America. And so I related to it so much, and I wasn't expecting to relate so much to it, and to hear how you guys related to it. And I think that's one of the most surprising things about this show is it's actually very, very relatable for a lot of people, more than they're probably anticipating, man.
Exactly. It's a universal story. That's always the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, amen. Well, dude, this was an unexpected surprise. Thank you
I
guys
wish
so
we could
much.
go for a full hour.
It's so awesome to
Yeah.
meet y'all,
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah, you know,
Likewise.
keep doing what you do, guys.
Yeah.
We keep watching.
Yeah,
Thank
keep
you.
doing what you're
Thank you
doing.
so
Dang,
much.
you guys gave me nipple chills, man. That was amazing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. We'll let you guys go. You have a great rest of the time,
Have
man.
a good
Thank
one,
you guys.
guys.
Peace and love, yo.
Hi, my name is Greg Alba,
And I'm John Humphrey.
and we are with the Real Rejects. Hi, Meera. Thanks for talking with us today. This show was an absolute delight. It was so fun, and it's so feel good.
Absolutely.
So feel good in a
Yeah.
world that doesn't feel so good.
Yeah, that's why I felt like it's kind of a necessary experience in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I just found it incredibly charming. I wanted to ask, I was speaking with a friend of mine named Arshad a few weeks ago, and I asked him about like what was his experience like when he first discovered Miss Marvel, and he said it was so impactful. He grew up on the comics, so I'm curious,
Yeah.
what was your emotional reaction or experience when you first discovered the character or the comic of Miss Marvel?
Similarly, I felt like pretty emotional, but I was just excited. Like I was gifted the comic by a friend of mine, and she was like, look at this cover. And I looked at it, and it's like a brown girl wearing a scarf and bangles, and it says no normal, right? And I was like, this is very strange because that feels very familiar, all of those things.
Yeah.
And then I read it, and she's from Jersey City, and she's got this like green beanie on and army jacket, and just like everything about her felt so familiar to me. I mean, I grew up in Jersey as well, but beyond just the
Mhm.
I mean, I almost feel like the Jersey thing is the thing I love about Kamala more so than the brown girl thing, because it's so specific to who she is. You know, she's just this girl on the other side of the Hudson River that wants to be a part of the action. But I do think for the South Asian community, I mean, I'm Indian, I'm not Pakistani, so I definitely felt very deferential towards the Pakistani Muslim experience that was being
Huh.
represented on the show, and wanting to make sure that I was listening to all the voices around me to make sure that we were doing our small part of it right. Kid of immigrants, first generation kid, just
Mhm.
feeling like your parents want one thing and you want something else for your life. What she was going through is such a familiar story for anyone with that first generation experience that was meaningful. It was very meaningful to see that be such a successful and impactful part of pop culture. And now it's going to be that much more. It's kind of wild.
Absolutely. I mean,
Absolutely,
I'm
yeah.
I'm not Indian or Pakistani. I'm first generation. My mom's Filipino, first generation here in America. So there's a
Yeah.
lot. I was like, oh wow, I might not be a teenage girl, but I really understand a lot of this experience. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. John?
Yeah, and I mean, too, looking at these first couple of episodes that we've seen as of now talking to you, you know, one thing that seemed pretty remarkable is, you know, between Billal and Adil and then your, you know, direction, there's a remarkable amount of fluidity and consistency across all that, even though the show has such a unique and very, it feels like one of the most cinematic MCU entries thus far to me. So
Oh.
basically, what did you guys do to communicate in order to create that consistency of tone?
Yeah, it was hard because we were doing them like almost simultaneously, like just back to back with one another. You know, we were often shooting things on the same days. You know, Adil and Bilal were so clear about what mattered to them, and I felt like I was really clear about what mattered to me. And I think that and Charmaine was really clear about what matters to her. Like, I think the fact that like all of that came together is a testament to, you know, the way that Marvel kind of cast us as directors. You know, we all come from such different experiences, but I think that the hybrid quality of that is what makes the show feel like a lot of different things.
Yeah. One of our favorite things about this when watching it was just even though it's not a show full of superheroes, at least right now, it's not a show full of superheroes, was that the family dynamics and the friendship dynamics felt so natural. It felt so sincere and real. So I'm kind of curious, what was the preparation like from the directing standpoint behind the scenes before filming of getting these actors ready to do these scenes, because it's incredibly natural and they feel like a real family, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that was really important to me, so I'm glad that felt that way to you. They were so new to each other. Even doing episode 2, they had only been filming with each other for like a week or two at that point, so it was still all very new. So I mean, some of the things we did on our episodes, well, one of the things I did with Iman and Matt the first time I met them, they were like, do you want to do a rehearsal with Iman and Matt? And I was like, sure. And our rehearsal was just playing Settlers of Catan together. We just like sat in a
fun.
room. We sat in a big stage and just played Catan together for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Nice.
I hadn't played it actually in a really long time, so I kind of forgot some of the rules. And I remember at one point I did something wrong. I put a bridge where I wasn't supposed to put a bridge, and Iman was like, you can't do that. And I remember thinking, this girl's awesome. She's gonna, like, when I do something that she doesn't agree with, she's gonna let me know. And I think that's so important for actors to feel comfortable enough to voice when they think something isn't right. And so for me, I just tried to create that environment on set every day as well for the actors. When we'd rehearse, I'd want to make it to feel very loose. I'd often ask them to improvise the beginning of the scene and the end of the scene, just to help them give themselves a way into the scene and out of the scene, but like obviously shoot the script as, you know, as written for the bulk of it, but just give them some loose ends to play with so that they could just, you know, kind of find a way to settle into it and feel comfy with each other. And then I'll say it was complete. The actors, 90% of the work was done on their own. Just, they knew that they also were just in Atlanta together and had no one else to hang out with, but they were hanging out with each other a lot and becoming real friends. And that helps a lot. We didn't have to deal with any drama and make it feel like forced once it was on set. They genuinely like each other. And I think
it really shows.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's manipulated by editing. I'm like, these guys seem like they really got along.
And even the inclusion of Bruno within that as sort of the outsider accepted into the family, like it all feels really, really natural. Yeah.
What we want to do is review the episode for you right now.
Did you approve our review before we put it up?
I do. I approve of this. Yes, I like all the things you're taking away from it. It makes me feel very optimistic about the way people will watch this show.
Well, thank you so much,
frustrating.
Meera, for your time. I know you got a bunch of other people to talk to as well. So thank you so much. And I'm excited for people to watch Miss Marvel. This was
Thank you guys. Thanks for your questions. They were really lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Take
it.
care.